Hello students, welcome to unit number 3 in design analysis of algorithms. In this lecture we are going to cover a concept which is named as randomized quicksort. Okay, so we have completed quicksort problem in unit number 2 of divide and conquer technique, right? So the main theme of quicksort is going to be to convert the unsorted array to sorted manner with the help of a pivot element. That pivot element can be a first index or first element, or that can be a middle element, or that can be a last element. But coming to this randomization chapter, we are going to have a concept which is named as randomized quicksort. In this concept, we are choosing pivot element randomly. That is the main difference between normal quicksort as well as randomized quicksort. Okay, in the normal quicksort, there is a principle, right, to choose the pivot element. That can be a first element, middle element, or last element. But you can, here in this concept, you can choose the pivot element randomly. Now let us observe why this concept is required. So if we observe very carefully in the divide and conquer technique of normal quicksort, the worst case performance is going to be order of n square, and the best or average cases of normal quicksort is going to be order of n log n. If you observe very carefully, the normal quicksort will providing the analysis under best and average cases as order of n log n. But coming to the worst case, it is producing the worst time complexity as order of n square. So if you compare order of n square and n log n, which one is having the highest value? Definitely order of n square is going to be the worst case performance if the quicksort under this case. Okay, so let us have a discussion on why this concept is required. So this randomized quicksort is required to move this order of n square time complexity to n log n for all the cases. Okay, so in normal quicksort, best case, average case is performing with a time complexity n log n, and worst case is performing with a time complexity order of n square. But with the help of this randomized quicksort, you can have a capability to have the time complexity of your algorithm is going to be order of n log n for all the cases. Okay. Now you try to observe how it is going to be possible. So this is your unit 3 syllabus. So currently we are discussing about randomized quicksort chapter, and the main contents of our lecture is going to be procedure of randomized quicksort, and we will discuss one example followed by algorithm. So the main objective of this lecture is you are going to be understand the procedure of randomized quicksort, how it is going to be choose the pivot element randomly, and the main outcome is you are going to be analyzing the quicksort algorithm. So how to select the pivot element randomly, that is the main theme. Okay, that is the main difference between quicksort as well as randomized quicksort. Okay, let's discuss about the procedure. So before having a procedure, so just tell me that, so why the normal quicksort is producing the worst case with a time complexity order of n square? So that worst case of time complexity of quicksort is going to be order of n square if the input array is already in a sorted manner, like 10, 20, 30 and 40. So what happens if you apply divide and conquer technique to this n size array with the help of quicksort by applying the splitting part? Ultimately this array is going to be divided into two parts. So first sub array is having a size 0, and second sub array is having remaining n minus 1 elements. Why? Because here the pivot is 10. If I choose pivot element as a first element, ultimately my pivot is swapped itself. Okay. Now for the second iteration, I am going to have two sub arrays. First sub array size is 0, second sub array is going to be remaining n minus 1 elements of this array, nothing but 30 as well as 40. So likewise, my algorithm is going to be failing to produce the worst case time complexity of order of n square if the input array is already in a sorted manner. Okay, now my task is to convert the order of n square into n log n. Why? Because a randomized quicksort can be possible to produce the time complexity of order of n log n for all the cases. Now we try to focus on how it can be possible, right? Okay, so the average time complexity is going to be n log n, and the worst case is going to be order of n square. So advantage of quicksort is nothing but it doesn't need the extra memory like your merge sort. Okay, that is the main difference between merge sort as well as quicksort. Merge sort needs extra memory, right, to convert the unsorted manner to sorted array. But here quicksort, extra memory is not required. So within the given array only you are tracing everything. That is the main difference between. Okay. So the algorithm is producing the worst case of order of n square if the input array is already in a sorted order. Okay, so in this case, my partition after applying divide and conquer technique will be divided into two subarrays. So first subarray is having a 0 size subarray, and the second subarray is having a size n minus 1. So with the help of this problem, my worst case of quicksort is producing order of n square. Okay. Now instead of choosing pivot as a first element as well as middle element or the last element, I am choosing pivot element randomly in my randomized quicksort problem. Now let us observe an example, so how it is going to be possible. Okay. So this is my example. So if you observe here, this is my input array, right? So my input array is already in a sorted manner. Okay. So if the input array is already in a sorted manner, ultimately it is producing the worst case which is of order of n square. So what happens if the input array is a unsorted manner? So ultimately my algorithm will going to be produces a time complexity which is going to be order of n log n. So now my target is to convert that order of n square into n log n. How it is going to be possible? If you convert this sorted input array into a unsorted manner, then ultimately that unsorted input array will going to be input to my quicksort to get the time complexity as n log n. Okay, now you try to observe how it is going to be possible. Okay, so initially I am assuming that the first index which is pointed by a p and the last index is pointed by q. Now I am choosing my random variable in between p and q. Okay, so p is initialized to first element and q is initialized to last element as per the procedure. Now in between p and q, I am choosing a random element or random variable like this. So now my next step is to swap this random value with the last index which is nothing but q. So if you swap the random variable r with q, so ultimately this array will going to be converted as 1 followed by, so I am swapping 2 with 5. I am swapping these two memory locations. So ultimately I will get 5 here, followed by 3, followed by 4, followed by 2. So what is in which manner you have given your input array? In a sorted values. So with the help of this randomized quicksort, with the help of random variable, okay, I am explicitly converting my sorted input array into an unsorted manner, so that if I give this input array to my quicksort, ultimately this is going to be producing a time complexity which is n log n. So with this simple swapping of random variable with my last index of array, I can have a capability to convert my input array of sorted manner to unsorted manner to convert the order of n square into n log n. So with this simple procedure only, you are going to have a capability to convert the worst case performance of quicksort order of n square into n log n, right? Yes. So initially you are selecting random variable between p and q. So I am going to be swap r with by last index which is nothing but q. So ultimately my array is going to be converted like this. Now this is going to be input to my quicksort, so that I can have a capability to get the time complexity as n log n. So let us discuss an algorithm. Okay, this is my randomized quicksort algorithm. Now how many parameters it is accepting as an input? 3 parameters as input. So first parameter is an array. P is pointing to the starting index of your array and q is pointing to the last index of your array. Now your target is to find out the random variable. So how to find out the random variable? With the help of random function. So that the indexes must be p less than q. Then only you can have a capability to verify that is there any elements which are available in between p and q. Okay, so with the help of this random function, so I am randomly choosing a random variable in between q and p and q variables. That will be assigned to I. My random variable is assigned to I now. Now my next target is to swap this random variable with my last index that is pointed by q. So after performing this instruction, my input array of sorted manner will be converted to unsorted manner. Ultimately, with the help of partition algorithm, you can have a capability to break down your n size array into two subproblems. Again, divide and conquer technique picture will come. You are going to have two recursion calls, nothing but two subproblems. So you are going to have that pivot element will be assigned to Q1, right? Here you are going to have a P2Q elements. With the help of Q1, I am going to break down this P2Q sequence, so that you can have a capability to get first subproblem from P2 Q1 minus 1 and second problem from Q1 plus 1 to Q. Why? Because Q1 is my pivot, right? So before this Q1, Q1 minus 1 is there. After this Q1, Q1 plus 1 is there, right? So with the help of this splitting of my big problem into smallest subproblems, you can have a capability to convert for the first subproblem, to convert my Q to Q1 minus 1. Why? Because pivot element is available at Q1, right? For the second subproblem, P will be changed as Q1 plus 1. So with the help of this partition as well as a simple call of two recursive calls of quicksort, you can have a capability to convert the unsorted manner of array into sorted manner to get the time complexity with order of n log n. Okay, so I am not discussing about partition as well as quicksort algorithm. Why? Because we have learned and we have seen these algorithms in the divide and conquer technique. Same algorithms you need to write in your exam. So in extension to this algorithm. Okay, so the main time complexity of randomized quicksort for all the cases is big O of n log n. Okay, so as of now we have seen procedure followed by example as well as algorithm also. So how randomized quicksort will going to works, and what is the difference between divide and conquer technique of a quicksort as well as randomization of quicksort. Okay, thank you. That's the end of the class. Thank you.